Hi students, this is Mrs. Kang for 9-3 Order of Operations Homework Help. So what I have in front of me is I printed out the worksheet, which is your homework for the day, and I'm going to go over, let's see, 3 of these problems. So the ones that I'm going to go over are number 4 and numbers 10 and 12. Okay, so even though I printed this out, I am not going to show the work here. Obviously, I'm going to show my work on my spiral notebook. So I am going to start with copying down or writing down the homework heading. All right, and remember, you need to write the entire homework heading. So I'm going to copy this down right here. Here we go, 9-3, textbook worksheet, page 254 through 255, numbers 2 to 13. Your name, date, period, Caroline King, 8/19, or the 20th, 8/20, period 1. All right, so let me first show you numbers 2 through 5. So if you take a look at numbers 2 through 5, it says complete to evaluate each expression. That's what it says right here. Evaluate means basically to solve or simplify or find the value. Okay. I know that it has all of these fill in the blanks. Okay. However, I'm not going to worry about that. I'm just going to solve the problem, which actually is right here. And just in case you guys are confused, let me go ahead and box the problem on number 2, 3, and 4. Now, the reason I chose to do number 4 is because if you take a look at and compare numbers 4 and 5, they look very similar. What I'm talking about is they have not just one set of parentheses, but you see how they have parentheses inside parentheses, as well as fraction, and there's exponents too, okay? And the exponent is outside of this inner parentheses, but it's inside the outer parentheses. This is a pretty challenging problem. Okay, so I'm going to demonstrate how step by step you would solve this problem. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to copy down the problem. So number 4, 12 times big parentheses, small parentheses, 4 plus 2, close the parentheses, to the second power, over 4, close the big parentheses, minus 7. It's very important that you copy down the problem exactly the way you see, okay? Because otherwise it's going to give you a different answer, okay? All right, so then now let's go ahead and solve it. And sorry, I'm quickly looking for my red pen. If you have multiple grouping symbols, such as this one, like parentheses inside the parentheses, what you want to do is you want to go inside out. So you're going to evaluate your inside parentheses first, which is simply 4 plus 2. Please don't do 2 to the second power. Notice this exponent is outside of the parentheses. So you need to just solve everything that is inside, okay? So 4 plus 2 is 6. But this is way too messy and confusing. And this is when students decide to skip steps, that's when they make mistakes. So I'm going to copy it down again. So 12 times parentheses. I got 6 here. And to the second power, over 4, close the parentheses, minus 7. Now, I still need to evaluate my parentheses. Okay, because maybe I should have done this from the beginning, but remember, I'm going to write down the order. And that's okay. So I still have my inside, my parentheses. I got rid of the one that's inside, but I still have the other one. And inside the parentheses, I have exponent, which means I should be evaluating this next. 6 to the second power is 6 times 6, which is 36. It is not 12, it is 36. So I got 36 here. And again, I'm going to rewrite the problem. 12 times parentheses 36 over 4, close the parentheses, minus 7. I still have my parentheses, don't I? I have 36 divided by 4. Remember, fraction means division. So 36 divided by 4 is 9. So I'm going to write 9. And I'm going to copy down the rest. So I just evaluated this, but I still have 12 times. I got 9 here. Finally, I get to get out of the parentheses, minus 7. Multiplication and subtraction. So I need to multiply before I subtract. So 12 times 9 is 108 minus 7. So my final answer is 101, and you can box the answer. Now, let's say you didn't know that 12 times 9 is 108, then I don't want you to do the multiplication here. It's just going to kind of ruin my nice work that shows step by step. Do that work on the side. 18, 9 plus 1 is 10. That's how you get 108, and then subtract 7. Okay, all right. So with that, let's move on. Just to clarify for number 6, it says, how do you use the order of operations to evaluate expressions with exponents? You can just basically give, you know, like the order of operations, PEMDAS, okay? All right, so number 10. What I'm going to do first is I am going to copy down number 10, skip a line. I'm going to skip 2 lines. And I'm going to copy number 10. 6 plus 3, parentheses, 13 minus 2, close the parentheses, minus 5 to the second power. Okay. Now that I have that problem written down, move it up a little bit. Okay, so this time, let me remember to write PEMDAS. All right, so let me ask myself, do I have any parentheses? And yes, I do. I have right here. So 13 minus 2 is 11. So 11. I'm going to copy everything down, and you need to be very careful with this one. Look, 6 plus 3, and then it doesn't tell you what operation you need to do. Doesn't say whether it's adding, subtracting, multiplying, or dividing, okay? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna actually keep those parentheses and talk about it after I copy down the problem. So parentheses, 11 minus 5 to the second power. All right, next step. So then you want to ask yourself, do I have any parentheses? And here's the answer to that. The answer is no. So I know that you see this parentheses here, but do you notice that inside the parentheses, there's no operation. There's nothing for you to do. So then if you only have a number inside the parentheses and right next to it, you have another number, the meaning of this is multiplication. Okay, so 3 parentheses 11 really means 3 times 11, and you can even get rid of the parentheses and rewrite it using a multiplication symbol if you want to, okay? All right, so then Now that I know that this doesn't mean the parentheses in the very first at the top of my order of operations, I'm going to move on to the next part, which is exponents. And I do have exponents right here, 5 to the second power. 5 to the second power is what? 25. 5 times 5 is 25. Copy everything down. 6 plus 3. Now, if you want to, you can write times 11 using the parentheses, or you can just do times 11. That's up to you. Minus 25. Add, multiply, divide. What do you do next? Well, according to my order of operations, PEMDAS, I multiply before I add or subtract. So 3 times 11 is 33. 6 plus 33 minus 25. Adding and subtracting from left to right. So you need to add first because adding comes first. 6 plus 33 is 39 minus 25. And your final answer is 14. Okay. And you guys notice how much space I'm taking just for 2 problems, okay? My spiral notebook isn't a small one, and I'm taking all this space just to show a couple problems. And that's, you know, if that's what you do, that's what I would like for you to do in order to make sure that you're showing all the work. Now, instead of using the bottom space, I'm actually gonna go to the right side of the notes, of spiral notebook. Okay, and I'm going to copy down this problem, number 12. Okay, so let's take a look. Number 12. So I'm going to write 12. 8 plus 6 to the second power over 11 plus 7 times 2. Okay. All right. Now, looking at my order of operations, I don't have any parentheses whatsoever. That means I don't even have to worry about that. But the next part, do I have an exponent? I do right here. I have 6 to the second power, which is 36. So then I'm going to rewrite the problem with that 36. So 8 plus 36 over 11 plus 7 times 2. Now, please listen carefully for the next part. So I've got right here, do you notice that I have division, addition, and multiplication? So then naturally, if you have division as well as multiplication, you go from left to right. So I'm gonna do this part first. But in here, you can't do 8 plus 36 divided by 11. So then what you actually have to do is you have to make it simple on your numerator. So you actually have to add 8 and 36 first, because that's the only way you'll get a single number numerator, and then you can divide. Now, what is 8 plus 36? It is 44. So again, I'm going to write 44 over 11 plus 7 times 2. Now, you can clearly see that you can divide. 44 divided by 11 is 4 plus 7 times 2. Which one do you do next? Do you add or do you multiply? Well, multiplication comes next. 14. 4 plus 14, your final answer is 18. And box the answer. Okay, all right, so today I did 3 problems, and I hope that helped. All right, so until next time, bye.